Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed Board of Directors, distinguished administrators, faculty and staff, proud parents and families, and most importantly, our exceptional graduates of the class of 2024. It is an amazing gift to me to be with you here today. I will carry that gift with me always. Parents, grandparents, guardians, the fact that they're here today, you did good. Or in deference to my mother, the English teacher, who right now is rolling over in her grave, you've done well. To the graduates, I have been trying to come up with what would have resonated with the 18-year-old me as I was sitting restlessly at my own high school graduation at Cherry Hill High School West in 1978 in the waning years of the disco decade. Impatient for a new adventure and in a hurry for the rest of my life to begin. At that moment, what would have been memorable and meaningful for me to hear that I could now share with each one of you? And I got nothing. I don't remember what was said at my high school graduation. I don't even remember who my graduation speaker was. I do remember it was ridiculously hot. Frankly, the idea of having to wear a robe on top of our clothes seemed a little sadistic. I do also remember that we all felt proud, even a few inches taller, as we hit this milestone. But the taller part could have been because we were all wearing platform shoes. I do know that we had been listening to teachers and parents for 18 years, and at that moment, we thought we were done listening. We were in a hurry to get on with it. I thought I knew everything, or at least enough to make my way in life without further interference and without wasting any more time. Of course, I was spectacularly wrong. As I've made my way through more decades than I'd care to admit, I am continuously reminded of how wrong I was. Nothing has turned out like I expected, literally nothing. But that doesn't mean it hasn't been wonderful. There have been so many moments that have taken my breath away, and things that have filled me with delight, things I never imagined. I've discovered many things by accident, without a master plan or a safety net, and everything I've learned has added another drop to the ocean of my life. So, with your kind indulgence, I'd like to share a few things I've learned along the way, things that I wish the stubborn, full of himself, 18-year-old contrarian me would have listened to without rolling his eyes. First, don't wear a ruffled shirt and a tuxedo with wide brown velvet trim to the prom unless you want to be made fun of by your children for the rest of your life. Here's the second thing I've learned, and it has nothing to do with questionable wardrobe choices. I've discovered that kindness may actually be the most powerful force in the universe. Seriously. My grandfather used to stop family conversations in mid-sentence by simply saying, "If you can't help them, don't hurt them." I have never once felt worse as a result of being kind. That's not a platitude. It's a guiding principle that will help you live a happier life. I guarantee it. We all get mad. We all get embarrassed. It's easy to lash out when we feel attacked by others. But what about what may be happening in that other person's life? The pressures they're under, the disappointments they're facing. We don't walk in their shoes, and conversely, they don't walk in ours. So we don't have to acquiesce to the unkindness of others. We are distinguished as a species by how we treat each other. Think about that. Practicing kindness is the single most powerful way to change the world for the better. Now let's talk about the flip side to positivity, the negative noise, the meaningless background noise. It's always there and it gets stuck in your head like an earworm. There is a concept in art called negative space. It's the space around and in between the visual subject in, say, a painting. It's also called white space, although it doesn't have to be white. When we fill that negative space with other crowded images, it becomes harder and harder to discern the original image we're supposed to be looking at through all that distraction. Noise is a little bit different, but it has the same effect when it starts to crowd your head with pointless and irrelevant distractions. And they're almost always negative. You can't. You won't. You shouldn't. The negative noise becomes a continuous loop. Don't worry about the no. Do you have any idea how many times you've already been told no in the first 18 years of your life? I actually tried to look that up, but Google was being frustratingly coy. So the best I got was that the average toddler is told no 400 times a day. Now, most of those no's are for very good reasons. But still, that can't be right, can it? 400 times a day? No wonder the word no starts to run a continuous loop inside our heads by the time we're adults. And then, like malware inside a computer, the insidious no starts to morph into things like, you can't, you're not good enough, you'll be embarrassed, you'll fail. I genuinely regret the number of times I've listened to that continuous loop. It never once made me happy. It never once did me any good. And it wasted so much time. Listen, anyone who tells you that you're not good enough, that what you have to say doesn't matter, that you don't matter, anyone who tells you that is a fool. And dead wrong. Worse, they're being deliberately unkind. If you're following your own compass and you're not hurting yourself or other people, and you're doing something to make the world a better place, and you're not wearing a ruffled tuxedo shirt, have at it. All caps. Don't worry about what other people think. Okay, so quick pause. That's so much easier said than done. I fail at this particular life lesson in small ways just about every day. I spent 2 days working on this commencement speech, wondering if my words were good enough, worried about being judged, worried that by now you'd be rolling your eyes and posting snarky comments on X, and whether you would laugh at the disco reference even though you were born in the following century. But even if I fail here today, tomorrow, the next day, I will get up and try again to reach this goal of non-attachment to what other people think. And again and again. I love creative people. I love entrepreneurs. I love scientific explorers. I love people with vision, with grit. And I hate the thought that so many of those people with so much to offer, have been shut down repeatedly. So please, in between composing memes about my performance up here today, listen to just this one thing. Don't ever let anybody shut you down. Take a chance. Take 30 chances. Not with your life or the lives of others, but chances that will lead you to new discoveries, to new accomplishments you never thought possible. Imagine that failure isn't important, or that failure is important because it teaches you something for next time. The most important thing I've learned about failure is that life doesn't end. They don't take away your birthday. There's no end of the world, and we come out stronger. So take a chance. The world belongs to those who show up, step up. Apply for a job you really want but don't think you can get. Travel somewhere you've always wanted to visit but doesn't seem realistic. Surprise someone by thanking them for being an important part of your life. Write something, anything, sing out loud because you feel like it. Dance spontaneously. If you think you can't dance, do it anyway. Build something, and then make up your own mind. None of this is going to help you pass a course or make a boatload of money. No, I take that back because there's a good chance it will. Build your resume with grit, perseverance, joy, concern for others, and experiences that fill you with delight. Don't worry about a handful of regrets. We all have them. I have quite a few, and I'm not just talking about that ruffled shirt. I'm fairly certain that you, too, are going to have a few regrets before you're done. I'm fascinated by and a little envious of all those people who reach a certain age and say they have no regrets. I'm 45-ish, and I certainly have my share of regrets. And that's okay, as long as the regrets don't outweigh the triumphs and the chances taken, you'll be fine. Hopefully, as of today, we've been able to minimize a few of those regrets for you, and we won't even charge you for the session. You're welcome. Here's one of my biggest regrets. I regret wasting so much time worrying about what could go wrong and how I could be singled out as a failure. It's almost possible not to do this, but it's stupid, and I regret it. If I could have back all that emotional energy, I really would be 45-ish. I regret not taking more time. I feel like I've been racing through my life at 100 miles an hour since I was 16 years old. After a while, you unlearn how to stop and appreciate the beauty that's all around you. That old cliche, stop and smell the roses, it's such an old person thing to say. No comments from the peanut gallery. And I don't feel a particular desire to smell roses. But I could look at the ocean forever. And I could listen to Nathaniel Barlow sing forever. And I love to look at the sky. And trees are more majestic to me than mountains. Books enchant me. Works of art thrill me. I still love every minute I spend with my children. But through all of this, there's been a relentless to-do list ticking in my head. Always something that was expected of me. The weight of responsibility. If you do all too easily unlearn how to truly exist in the moment, it's really, really hard to get it back. Then there are the what-ifs. When I graduated college, I was offered a job in New York, working for a top publishing company. At that time, it would have been my dream job. But the salary was around $8,000 a year. And even for that time, it was a frighteningly small amount of money. And I had a wife and a baby, so I chose another path. Now, I eventually did make it to New York, and I love the twisty, unexpected, driving my father crazy, unexpected path my crazy career has taken over the years. But what if? And similarly, what if I had jumped on that opportunity to go to work for a new and unproven media company, a startup called HBO? but here I am. You're welcome. Back to the lessons learned. Reality TV isn't reality, and social media isn't social. But here's what is real. This is the 20th, that's right, the 20th commencement ceremony of the Pennsylvania Leadership Charter School. Today, through all of you, we reaffirm our commitment to nurturing the thought leaders and visionaries of tomorrow. As we celebrate your achievements, we look forward to the exciting possibilities that lay before each one of you. There are always possibilities. You, and yes, I'm talking specifically to you, are simply wonderful. I hope when you look in the mirror, you see that. We all see it. And don't let anyone ever make you feel that you're less than wonderful, because that's just background noise. So go out, be wonderful. We're cheering you on. I appreciate you giving me your time today and for keeping the eye rolls at a minimum. You're clearly more mature than I was. I'd like to close by thanking you, each and every wonderful one of you, for giving my life meaning. And don't forget my advice about that ruffled shirt. Thank you.